played in the first time. It's one of your better wins out of 10 of the year. What were some of the things you thought you could do on the game?
I thought Ben Simmons came out right from the get-go and had one of his best games, just organizing the gym. I think that, and I'll be redundant and say it again, out of anybody that's had to take a little bit of a sacrifice, I think it's him. You know, like I'm really trying to coach and challenge him as our point guard. And like nowadays, if you got JJ and Jimmy Butler and Joel, well, how do you take that and make it work and still let me help him? You know, the ecosystem isn't always clean. You know, it's challenged, it needs to be coached, it needs to be explained. And I thought Ben Simmons in that game the last time in Indiana was incredibly successful and efficient as a point guard. That stood out. I think that schematically what we did differently with pick and rolls and the coverages and the initial matchups helped us. And without getting into too much coach speak, those two things most stand out.
Brett, you guys listed Jimmy as questionable on the report earlier today around 1:30 p.m. That's obviously an upgrade from doubtful earlier in the week. Have you guys seen or heard progress from him? Where is he at right now?
Yeah, felt it, seen it, listened to it. There is progress. You know, there was a legitimate chance he could have played tonight, and just on further sort of review and further discussions with him, you know, I don't want, I mean, he's a soldier, as we all understand. I don't want him personally, I don't want him chasing. I want him getting on top of this thing and not chasing an injury and I want to get on top of it and get him where he is 100% confident, comfortable. We were not there yet. It came with a little bit of a, conversation, but it is trending and I think moving in a way that we hope to see him really soon. We'll have a, practice tomorrow and get on a plane for Cleveland, and maybe we get a chance to see him in Cleveland.
Coach, how do you approach this game defensively, in particular with defense coming off the bench, especially against a team that's pretty fast with Victor Oladipo?
I mean, they really do a good job of shooting threes, making threes at a high percentage. I think with Turner, his ability to pick and pop. Thaddeus is tough on offensive boards, sneaking around. I get so much time for Sabonis as a pick and roller, an offensive rebounder, especially after the screen. And then to your point, like their backcourt led by Victor, they're good. And so always, like getting back in normal transition defense conversation, but especially, the attention to the three-point shot. They do it well. Bogdanovich is really elite. I've seen a lot of him over my years watching Croatia and Dario play. And I just think that they're well coached and they're disciplined and they play good defense. You asked about offense. Offensively, those things come to my mind.
Miles Turner showed up in a Dak Prescott jersey. Any thoughts on that kind of trolling?
None.
It was interesting after the Butler trade. Elton said, still looking for another player. We haven't closed down yet. Do you think you still need one more player or one or two more players to make this fit?
I think this, that our current team as it's constructed and the bench as it's constructed will be given tremendous opportunity of playing NBA basketball in minutes in real roles, and it's exacerbated when there is injury like tonight. And so in this environment, to just sort of like dump water on it and say, no, no matter what, we need help. I'm prepared to watch Furkan grow for a while in this environment, and Landry, and is Amir going to get back on track, and what about Mike Muscala and all that stuff. And so our team, here it is, and we're paying attention. And we're paying attention to those people that I just said that like a new bench and new people coming in would take away some minutes from those people I've just said. They have opportunities to say no. They get opportunities to sort of draw their own line in the sand and say, you do all you want, here I am type stuff. And so I think that, like I usually say at the start of the season is, we're going to be aggressive. Elton will be aggressive on how we ultimately design this team. We've admitted that the sort of timeline has changed. We genuinely believe our timeline is now. And so with that belief, and it's shared most importantly by ownership, led by Eldon and coached by me, you know, the team and how we think and try to plan and talk and try to, you know, deliver something in April, late in May and all that stuff, it has a chance to go deep. And so I think your question on the bench is sort of answered with all those things in mind.
It's interesting, you kind of likened Shaman to Bellinelli, kind of likened Shaman to Bellinelli the other night. You see-
Furkan. Oh, you mean, that's right, yeah, no, yeah, so I did, you know, Shaman sort of inherited this, you know, Bellinelli, like back up to JJ, shoot it up, you know, environment. And, you know, he's done a good job, and I think Furkan lately, you know, has heard me loud and clearly about defense. You can do all you want, if you can't guard you, I'm not playing you. Or not playing as much as you'd like to play. And, you know, he has responded by the eye test and some of the metrics. You know, we all better have a close look at him because he's, I think that the last few games, you know, he's done quite well.
Coach, I know it's only December, you just have a ton of basketball left to be played, but how important is the game tonight against a team like Indiana in terms of playoff positioning and tiebreakers come April?
I don't even think like that. I'm sure like you look in the rearview mirror in April or March and like remember, you guys will write this and make me look foolish. But I really don't. Like it's more about we're playing against one of the East best teams. I get where it could all end up, but to overthink it, I think is overthinking it. And I feel that the opportunity and reality that we're playing one of the league's best teams, and certainly one of the best teams in our conference, interests me the most. You know, once again, we're gonna have another real opportunity to make a judgment of where we're at and you know, things we did well and things we gotta improve on. That truly is the only sort of lens that I see this game through.
Brett, you said getting Amir back on track. What do you mean by that?
I don't think he's played to the level that he has played at in the past. And some of it is opportunity, some of it's form, you know, but he was one of the important defensive pieces to our program last year as a backup center to Joel. And, you know, at times I came in as the season unfolded later and put Dario at a 5 or Irsan at a 5. And so now he's in a fist fight with Mike Muscala. You know, like sometimes I can pivot out there, I can go to Ben Simmons, but you know, he's trying to find his way and I need to help him. But in the meantime, I said it for those reasons.
Seems like Ben's been posting up a lot this year, but sometimes you see him and Joe kind of post at the same time. They might be a little confused. Is there something, like, is there a level of communication they need to kind of have one of them get out of the way on those times, or is that something just gonna happen?
I think it's true first, what you just said. And in last year, I saw it, and it's not as much this year, where Ben would be coming down on an isolation, on a side in early offense, and Joel would be at a post, and, you know, does Joel come up and do we post Joel? Does Joel empty out and we isolate Ben? Does Joel, you know, sort of come out and play pick and roll with Ben? Like that is like your first date, right? You're trying to like figure stuff out. I hope that made sense. You're trying to figure stuff out, and I think that with Ben now, like he's posting deep. He's really skilled at posting deep, and how he you know can do that and not interfere at times with Joel wanting to do the same thing is a little bit of a challenge. And so you know, I think it's all part of those guys playing with each other.
Do you understand what somebody said the other night about defensive end? Thought there was a communications problem at the defensive end. I don't know if you read. So we didn't communicate enough.
Ben said that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's always, I do. And, you know, when you have a team that has the ability to switch, it sticks out a lot there. It really sticks out to me when you're talking about off-ball defense, more than like just in your face, here's a pick and roll, you know, switch or send it to the left or whatever. It's challenged more in an off-ball situation where the game is a little bit faster. You know, you're trying to see the ball and see your man. That environment is more challenging to me than on ball, and in that environment, I agree with Ben. You know, we can always do better communicating like our switch groups, who's in the switch.
Said after last game, he immediately went in the locker room
Well, you know, we try to set up the play to go through Ben and have other action happen behind it. So Burke was just trying to you know, get him the ball as we talked about. Ben felt like he had a deep catch and a deep post, especially the first time, and probably he did. And so, you know, that's just an interaction with two players, and, you know, I can do better in that environment, coaching that again. But, you know, he was just trying to follow instructions, and he ended up forcing something that probably we shouldn't have forced. Thank you.
First date, I can't believe you guys, don't you know, you're trying to like hold her hand, you know, do the kisses, push her arm around, like, it's a little bit awkward, right? You all remember that?
I still remember that.
That's right.
Maybe that's true.
Still awkward, isn't it, Tommy?